Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Neil, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in the Politics Discord server, so welcome one and all.
How are you?
Hey!
Hello.
My tangent's level.
Your tangents are level. Have you seen a doctor about it? Is there any evidence you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline?
No. A nice job this morning.
The moment you try to curve level, you're going to end up in a paradox where you can't assert curvature anymore because you've curved level. And you can't get an angle differential for your eye level to where surface level appears to meet the sky. So, yeah, you kind of need level to be a flat plane.
Yeah, those guys need a flat earth more than we do. And they'll glurf their way through lies and angles that are curved and planes of reference that are out in space and can't be referenced. They'll lie their way through their globe earth belief when they absolutely, without question, require a horizontal plane of reference for angle measurements for things like seismology. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No. Well, they have the pregnancy test for women.
By pregnancy
use that
test,
on Earth,
you mean
too.
P waves and S
Sonogram.
waves. P waves and S waves, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for those.
That'll be using an angle.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, it'll use an angle of incident, which requires a horizontal plane of reference. But you can't really convolute yourself with a point out in space with that one, I wouldn't think, because it has to be the ground or a level to it.
So we were talking about the definition of level. And nowhere in the definition does it say it must be horizontal. It just says equidistant over its reference. Now, the surface level that you were talking about in respect to
The
a tangent,
definition of level,
is that surface level necessarily horizontal and a straight line, or can it be curved?
it cannot be curved because you're going to get angles from it. Your dip angle is from an eye level. So if you curve that, you don't get an angle.
Is the eye level referencing...
You didn't acknowledge him.
the Earth
I'm
shape?
sorry, I've got to interrupt. I've gone through that with you 15 times. Now, he's just gone through it with you on a live show, rather than us repeating the thing that we did in the live show, where you completely ignore what's been put to you and rinse and repeat your claims. Can you actually address what he just said? Perhaps you could repeat it back to him. Not for $200, but just repeat it back so he understands that you've acknowledged what he said. Maybe he could repeat it, because I've now put him a gap between. Go ahead, John. Can you repeat it and we'll see if he can acknowledge it?
Well, I can repeat
Eye
it to
level
him.
must be a horizontal for you to get angles from it. It cannot be curving, else you would not be getting an angle from it.
Right. So the eye level is an abstract line you've created. It is a straight line between your eye and something off. Excuse me, I'm not done yet. and something off in the distance. So to claim that that must fit the physical line of the Earth is a failure in logic. It's a non sequitur.
We didn't claim that. No, that's a straw man. We talked about surface level. You talked about sea level. Eye level just has to be level. It's not curving.
So eye level is a straight line, an abstract one you draw between you and a distant point. And in fact, it's not straight because of refraction, something you pointed out before, Nathan. So I don't see how that references the shape of the Earth.
No. That's your all claim of refraction. It's nonsensical for you to say refraction. We're just pointing out that
if a point out in the distance is not straight, then it's not going to be used as horizontal. So that's your problem. You claim it's refracted, not us. So that's not our problem. It's your problem. Your problem, what you should be doing is explaining why you haven't got horizontal when your lines that need to be straight to reference are bent. You should be explaining why you haven't got that. I can just say Earth is flat, we've got a horizontal plane of reference, and this measurement uses a horizontal plane of reference. No explanation is required. It is what it is. You need to reify beneath your feet a sphere that is derived from measurements of a flat plane. Let's move on to that. To get the sphere that you're implying for curved geometry, which it isn't. It's based in flat planes being flat. That's what we explained in the pre-show with the maths. You need a flat plane to get the R value to infer that you've got a sphere for you to reify. You need flat Earth for R, for spherical R.
You don't. That's just
right.
right. So when you draw these angles...
Where'd you get R from? We're talking about a globe, so you can infer that there's some sphericity and curve to account for. Okay. That starts with you reifying a model into existence with the use of an R value. Where's it measured?
So any celestial navigation where you measure the angle to Polaris will give you the R value of the Earth because it's
flat Earth
linear
required.
progression of
That
1
requires a flat Earth.
miles.
That's a flat Earth measurement. That's
incorrect. And
I've got it on screen now for my audience. It's not incorrect. No. What you can see on screen now is excuse me, I'm not going to be chanted through. No, you are incorrect. That proves a flat Earth. The angle measurement to Polaris for your R value is an angle. One of the straight lines, as depicted on screen now, is the baseline, meeting the GP ground position below Polaris. For the equatorial value, that is a flat Earth. Prerequisite, it must be flat.
So what points does that baseline connect when using a sextant? What are the 2 points that you draw?
Sorry, it's an angle. It's a straight line. It's not curved.
I'll answer the question for you.
It wasn't a question. It was a statement. It wasn't a question. You seem to be hearing things. I didn't ask a question for you to answer. I made a statement of fact. The line between you and Polaris is fact, not a question. Baseline. Fact. It is flat. It cannot be curved or it would not be an angle. This is a flat Earth prerequisite. There was no question in there. You're hearing things. Yeah? What I stated was the fact that Earth must be flat for this angle to give you your globe radial value. It is factually a flat Earth measurement because the baseline forms part of the angle. Ergo, you need a flat Earth to take us on this merry dance of inferring that level isn't level and it actually curves, even though your maths of a sphere Earth with an R value measured on a flat Earth needs level to be level also. So, in conclusion, the R value this man used to reify a model into existence that won't give him a horizontal plane of reference, it'll give him points out in space, was measured on a flat Earth with angles to Polaris. As he just described, angles won't have curves in them. This needs a flat Earth. There's no point arguing about what curved level will do anymore because your inference is... Excuse me. Because your inference has its genesis in a flat Earth measurement. So I'm not going to take your reification of level not being level when that inference comes from a measurement of a radial value that's flat. It's the end of this discussion.
You mean level not being horizontal? That's what you actually mean?
No, I didn't say that. When you say what I actually mean is level is not horizontal, you mean you need to invent words I haven't said. I'm done talking to this guy. All he can do is lie and make up things I haven't said to attack. Those words did not cross my lips. You're creating a little straw man to attack because of your failure to appreciate how this angle, with respect to an angle you detailed with Polaris, requires a flat Earth to measure. And that's where your globe R comes from, for you to reify into existence level not being level anymore. It's nonsense, and it needs a flat Earth. Here it is on screen. That's not a curved line.
So
that's
the baseline.
That's a straight flat line. Forms a triangle with 90 degrees below Polaris. Flat Earth required.
So a couple of problems, again, with your idea of how sextants work. One, the straight line is between your eye, which is 6 foot above the surface of the Earth, and then a spot on the horizon. Now, I don't know if you know this, but points or spots
You'll need a flat Earth for that. You'll need a flat Earth for that.
Singular point.
You'll need a flat Earth for that. You just described a flat Earth. Just described a flat Earth.
It's a replication fallacy to claim that the line between your eye and that point in the distance is straight, therefore the Earth must be straight.
Sorry, the line between your eye, you mean eye level? Is that the line between your eye that you're referring to? Eye level? Yeah, that's level, definitely. It's level. It's called eye level. It seems that you've decided to change the word eye level, hyphenated perhaps. Maybe you can change that word to mean point between your eye and a distant point that's actually curved. Now, it's called eye level. Do you need to lie about what eye level is? It seems so. Glurf, right? Gotta lie.
Sextants don't use eye level, Nathan.
So you don't think we're using an eye level with a bubble sextant?
I'm not sure how a bubble sextant would...
So that would be a sextant that we use eye level with. You're just an idiot. You don't understand what sextants do because you've just told me we won't use eye level with sextants. So what, a bubble sextant? A sextant? Yeah, you don't need to yammer through me humiliating you. Your last statement was that we won't use eye level with sextants. Instantly, I gave you an example that requires eye level to be level and is a sextant measurement with a bubble. That would be an eye level that you're looking through.
With a bubble sextant, what part of the...
So why are you asking me a question? You just told me we don't need eye level for sextants. Yes, we do. You're wrong. You don't seem to be offering many concessions. Just offering lies, glurf lies, about things I haven't said that you need to attack instead of the words I actually use. And when I use them, you decide that you're going to ignore them, rinse and repeat, and offer a rebuttal that puts tangent points for reference planes out in space, for seismic wave return angles. You've lost. You're done. You've been toasted. You're cooked, mate. This is the end. I'm done. You keep making up stuff I haven't said. I'm sick of listening to your lies about me. Mate, I'm trying to tell you that I want to disengage from you. Mate, I'm trying to tell you I don't want to engage with you anymore. You keep inventing stuff I haven't said. You've done it 3 times. At this point, I don't want to tolerate you because you just keep lying about things I haven't said. I don't like talking to people like that. You know, actually, you disgust me. You with your globe belief. You warrant telling off, as you suggested was warranted for somebody claiming seismology and talking to a flat earther when they told them off. No, you aren't telling off. You're a liar. You keep making up stuff I haven't said. Absolutely outrageous. That's all you've got. You've got to lie to have this conversation with me. And I'm done. I don't like liars. You. Yeah, 3 examples is enough. I'm done with you. Need a flat Earth for reference planes, for elevation angles, and for return angles in seismology. P waves and S waves. Yeah, you're going to need a flat plane for that. Yeah, for the R value to make a globe, you'll need a flat plane for that also. He hasn't acknowledged any of these points. He just keeps lying about me, so I'm done with him.
Yeah, and then he wants to start teaching. No, you've been pummeled.
Sextants don't need eye level. What about this one that needs eye level? Oh, well, what does blah, blah? I'll ask you a question. No, you're just wrong. No, get lost. You obviously don't know what you're talking about. You need a flat Earth for this stuff. You didn't realise. We pointed it out. You said curve angles. Then you changed your tune and started inventing tangent planes so you can get return angles to them, even though they're out in space when you're measuring the ground. We all need a flat Earth for this, and he just doesn't like that and needs to lie to get around it. Oh, well, I'm done with liars. We are the ones telling the truth. We don't need to appeal to some bullshit that he hasn't said to attack his argument. We could just point out his argument needs a flat Earth. And we did. 16 times.
So did he.
Right.
But he thinks it's a globe.
Well, the thing is, when he was saying that a section is a point at the horizon, it's you use a dip correction to get to eye level. How are you going to say that point in the horizon is a point of tangency is beyond me at that point?
Well, isn't they refracted it in 2020, not realising how devastating that was in this particular scenario? The guy tried to flip the burden and claim that it was a problem for me that it's refracted. Oh, well, then we need to account for that not straight line that we'll use as a reference plane out in space. Really? Will you? No, you won't. You just measure the reference plane. That's what they do. They get a return angle to it. It's really simple because Earth's flat. Here's an altitude angle. Here's another one. They've been flashing up on screen the whole time. They all need a flat Earth. That's how they're done. Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. And that's why we're in the politics server.
Dogs is actually...
Sorry, AJ, go ahead.
Dogs is actually in the chat. I was just saying, Dogs is actually in the chat stating that he would like to finish one final point if you guys would like to cover that one final point.
No, I don't want anything from him. I went through something that he didn't acknowledge 15 times. So why? Well, he gets to have the final word after I've told him to get lost because he keeps lying about me. Oh, it doesn't matter that I've not... Did he, in the chat, in any way acknowledge the 15 renditions, the fact he needs a flat Earth for a return angle to a horizontal plane of reference? Did he respond to that in the chat? Or did he just suggest that he should get the final word? Did he acknowledge that he lied about me 3 times in the chat?
No, he didn't acknowledge any of that.
Then he can get lost. No, I'll have the final word, thanks. No, Earth's measured flat in his example. We detail it daily on a show called Flat Earth Debate on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel. We ask the question daily about any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core, because that has the prerequisite requirement of a flat Earth to claim P waves and S waves also. We've been asking it daily for years. I've put it to him 15 times. He thinks he needs the last word. No. Earth's measured flat, mate. Your example proves it. That's the last word. I will give it, because I won. You didn't win. You had to lie. You failed to acknowledge 15 renditions of the same winning point. So you can get lost. Brenda? Boring for the audience.
He's only going to rinse and repeat.
Go ahead, Neil.
No, I'm just saying he's only going to rinse and repeat. He's not going to come out with anything new.
Shout out to Q Lyric. Don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, but thank you for joining as a member. You can enjoy the pre-show where you get the same exact thing we had in the first, whatever we've had so far, 15, 18 minutes of the live show. Just the previous 14 attempts to get him to acknowledge the horizontal plane of reference that's referenceable. Out in space, bent lines to it, not horizontal, not with respect to the ground on his globe that he reified. You can hear all that again, if you remember. So thank you for joining. 75 people watching. Please share the show. We're currently in Politics Discord server. So if one of my moderators would be kind enough to send the link through the live stream chat, because it's not the official link to the Flat Earth Debate Discord server that's in the info box, as I suggested in the intro, incorrectly. So hopefully one of the mods will put a link to the Politics Discord server so you can all join the discussion there, or just join as a member. It's a great server. We've had a very warm welcome every single time we've had interactions with them. Mods are very, very laid back, but do their job exceptionally well. No complaints in that regard.
Nathan, why is it that they're always trying to move away from the ground? You mentioned it, how they do it in celestial navigation too, and now he's doing it in seismology, because we've proven that a flat Earth is required, and now all of a sudden the Earth is not important anymore.
Because we're measuring the ground flat. Therefore, oh well, in my example that I'm using Earth to specifically prove that Earth is sphere-shaped and the ground is curving, it's not about the ground anymore when you prove I need a flat ground to get a return angle. So it's not about the ground. In fact, it's not about angles when I use return angles to prove we're on a sphere with a horizontal plane of reference to get the angles from. It's not about the ground anymore. Same with navigation. What's that? We navigate the ground flat. In all instances, we need angles off a flat ground to get around and find our position and map. Yeah, we do, yeah. Well, it's not about the ground, because I'm mapping and moving around a spherical surface that won't give us any of those things. So it's not about the ground anymore. Yeah, it is. We're navigating the ground. Earth is flat. Like I say, that's why we're doing tour de servers. So that people appreciate that the winning argument is the one we should be putting forward on the front foot. That's why I stepped in as soon as I heard someone claiming that a flat earther was worthy of telling off by a globe believer because his seismology claim proved it spherical. Therefore justified in getting angry with the flat earther. No, you'll hear my disdain when I point out the horizontal plane of reference that's required, because it proves a flat earth. What's that? No submission, just 15 rinse and repeat attempts, and an attempt to get the last word even when you've lost. That's what you've got to do when you're a glurf. I assume the angry glurf was met with a subservient flat earther.
Well, it's funny that he appealed to a tangent that had a name, but he didn't know the name of what he was appealing to.
Yeah, surface level. I was waiting for the timing so you and I could say it in unison. Hopefully that comes across well on the recording.
That's when they say tangent, what they're really talking about is surface level, but they don't want to think of that as the ground. But that's just how the math works.
Yeah, if you're talking about navigation, they'll draw out a tangent plane. That's a plane of reference you can reference with regards to the angles and the ground that you're measuring, the baseline that's on a flat Earth. You'll take those angles and say, oh, no, it's okay that we can put those now in the centre of Earth. All lights coming in parallel. That might as well be going to the centre of Earth on the flat equatorial plane in the centre of hell. Because we need to use this with angles, like off a flat Earth and that, so putting it in the centre of the globe is fine. All light comes in parallel to this plane I've created, imaginary with respect to a ball that I created with flat Earth measurements to Polaris. It's all good. And therefore, level isn't level anymore, it's actually bent. But I'll reference how bent it is from the level that we need to be level. But it can also be bent when level's level to reference how bent it is. That's their argument. It's absolutely pathetic. Meanwhile, we can move forward as flat earthers in this server, telling people Earth's measured flat because it is. And every single example a globe believer will ever put forth to you will require Earth to be measured flat for their claim, as you just saw.
If I get the Walter Bislin curve calculator and post it, or will you show it to everyone so that they know that I'm not joking when I say that the tangent they invoke has got a name?
Sure, stick it in Master B and I'll post it up on screen. I mean, I tend to use the Mick West one, but that's just because of what I'm more familiar with from debating about it for years on end at the Isle of Man. Nevertheless, I know what the maths entails. I don't actually need the curve calculator in front of me to know how it functions now, because I've been dealing with it for 6 years. Meanwhile, it has surface level. It's the tangent plane they need to reference, and it's got surface and level in the name. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. What's that? Level's curving? No, it isn't. Not for your maths. Where you put a globe Earth edge horizon that we debunked in 2020 with a black swan below surface level. Because that's precisely what they do. They need surface level to be flat to infer that there's Earth curve. We'll measure Earth flat and then infer that there's a sphere Earth dangling beneath a tangent plane that's the surface level we measured. While we're waiting for that model to appear on screen, we'll ask a couple more housekeeping questions, see if anyone else has got anything to add. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
That's a deathly silence if ever I've heard one. I'll answer that one.
I was
It's
wrong
been-
in that.
It was.
Rick, go on.
Yeah, no, it doesn't appear to be any scientific evidence that's hypothesis based and tested and repeated. Lots of people come into this channel, Nathan, and still talk about Cavendish and say that that's a scientific experiment and proves mass attraction of mass. No one else has brought it up, but I wondered what your thoughts are on that. If you wanted to answer that question quickly, why? What's this Cavendish experiment they bring in? Why is that not scientific?
It's a parlor trick.
A parlor trick that uses level as horizontal because they're asserting a downward force. Down is an aspect of the vertical with respect to horizontal. They're hijacking the flat Earth to claim a force that we can't observe.
So yeah, there is no phenomena. The phenomena is a downward bias. There is no downward bias. So they conjure one. Amazing, really. 5 years ago, all we had barked at us was there was nothing but science for this globe claim, especially gravity. The whole body of science was claimed to prove it. Now, nothing but silence. Amazing.
Well, we do have GF6 again, the tip of the globe spear, Manufactotum, claiming a experiment for gravity in the chat.
Perfect.
He's not speaking up.
Is he in the VC? Can he tell us the phenomena
Yeah,
was
he's
observed?
in the VC.
He is in VC. Can we get the phenomena that's being observed in this claim to be experiment from whoever's claiming it in the sidelines chat? Passion Pig, was it you?
Shut up, fag.
Jack? Sorry, what was that? Nobody's claiming it. Well, strong evidence. Luna Cat, did you want to make claim to this? You've opened your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Clearly not. Let's move on.
Both of those curve calculators are in the.
Yeah, I popped the one on screen.
Oh, sorry, Nathan.
Who's doing that?
Manufactotum, and he's working at the moment. He said he might get 5 minutes very shortly if you're still around, so we'll hear him shortly.
I'm here for the next hour and a half, probably. I don't want to outstay my welcome. I was here for 10 hours last time.
Who's making those weird noises, AJ?
I don't know. I've just booted one guy who was jumping in, but I'm trying to see who's making the other ones.
That's kind of the housekeeping question. See how clean this hotel is. Oh, there's a super chat to shout out in the meantime. I'll do that first. Shout out to Sensual Goat. You just sent me money. Maybe he said something too rude for super chats. Thank you for the super chat anyway. Really appreciate the support. No evidence, scientific or otherwise, for gravity. What about any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Those areas of study are not natural science.
Again, we've been told the whole body of science proves the globe claim based in astronomy. So, nobody's got any scientific evidence?
Until we learned what science was.
Okay, I think that's enough housekeeping. Have you guys in this server got the general gist of why we've come, or why we're making frequent appearances in the server? If you're a frequent member of the server, that is. I know some of the people here are frequenting my server and others, but any regulars in here understand why we're here, or not understand why we're here?
Regulars on the flat Earth side or regulars on the globe side?
Anyone. I've come with a purpose, me specifically, but obviously I brought a whole team of people along with me, and I'm inquiring to see if you know the motivation for me going out of my way to come along, argue the toss with fundamentalists, and hopefully get your ear in regards to something specific.
Well, it's to spread truth, yeah?
Yeah, like a virtual road tour.
Not exactly. To spread the message that was concluding the argument that was just had with the other chap, who I thought was Andrew Johnston, but wasn't, which is to say that the Earth is measured flat for everyone, including globe believers. The example for him was radial value for his inferred globe with tangent points out in space. The R value came from a measurement of the flat Earth. That's why I'm here, to point that out, so that anybody who's a flat earther in the server can move forward, not with a belief that Earth is flat, not with the truth that they've got in terms of feast of nonsense arguments that infer ice walls or domes, but to know that that's how Earth is actually measured. That's how it's dealt with. Then you can move forward on the front foot.
Most of us are from 24/7, so we don't talk about ice walls.
That's fair enough.
That's good to hear.
Very.
Yeah, we try and stick away from, and I love this phrase, feast of nonsense. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'm 24 and over here, we try to stick to the stuff that we can demonstrate to be true, like physical measurements and how the Earth is dealt with. We start
verifiable.
Talking about, yeah, that's a good word, Timbo. We start talking about ice walls and dielectric planes and ethers, and so it's not stuff that can be demonstrated, not stuff that we know to be true. So we try to stick
Love
away
it.
from that because we can get lost really quickly.
Go on, Humble. Did you want to add something, Humble?
I was going to say, I think it's fair to say the 24/7 crew about 2 years ago cast off a lot of the Feast of Nonsense, and a lot of people left with that.
Oh, really? There was a purge as
You
a
know-
result. People didn't like the fact that
You,
that was being challenged.
More like an
You know who
exodus.
we're-
Yeah.
Exodus, that's
you
a
know
much
who
better
we're
word.
talking about.
Yeah, that's a
No.
better word.
Yeah.
Exodus.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of Hebrew Israelites left the server.
Yeah, but we can tell you
Not
about
Mennonites,
Genesis.
though, Amish.
Yeah, but those arguments that are put forward that we call the Feast of Nonsense is what allows a Glober to stay in the argument.
Like
because
what?
you're working in
For example?
areas that you don't know.
For example, if you
Can you
claim
give
there's
an
an ice
example?
wall, if you claim there's an ice wall, then you can challenge that
Yeah,
as a globe
exactly.
believer.
Yeah, because it's not.
Or if you
it's
claim
not
a
proven.
height to the stars.
Yeah, a measured height to the sun or stars or moon that can attack that.
Exactly.
But the thing is, not necessarily on the main topic of why I'm here. That is to say, I want you all to know that you can move forward with a stone cold knowledge of Earth being flat. It sounds like many of you are already well into that anyway, which is great. It's really refreshing to hear. We were somewhere else yesterday that was not the case. So, you know, maybe as people come and go from this server and we frequent it, there'll be people who haven't heard of this and will then go from being flat Earth believers to flat Earth knowers. But aside from that, the Feast of Nonsense, people should be so cautious when they hear some of the claims that are made, because you as a flat earther, if you are, you may not be in this server, there may be plenty of globers in here, but are considered dumbest of the dumb. You're fair game to have lies made up about you, words you haven't said, for example. That's fair game. I don't care. You're dumb. You're a flat earther. It doesn't matter.
Retards.
Yeah, we're retards, therefore do what you like to them. Doesn't matter. Well, but with that being the standard, you should raise your game in terms of what you can prove. Not open yourself up to speculation, because that will just open the door to more ridicule. So we should be hyper vigilant when it comes to proving things. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, and that's what we try and do here. We don't go into speculation. We have speculation Sunday, but yeah, we kind of go, this is only speculation. This is not proven. We can't prove this. Yeah. So we have a day where we can go across things where people may have speculations. And then Monday, we go back to what we can prove.
Oh, how sweet. You have a speculation day. Nathan, can we have a speculation day?
No. There's nothing wrong with
no.
Fine, that sounds wonderful, and it's good that you can vent your speculation in some way. However, I'm not suggesting that I'm decrying that in any way with the next statement. Me personally, I feel it's inappropriate, because even if it's in a humble environment where you've got perceived friends, every word you say will still get used against you, regardless of it being in an environment that's conducive with speculation. Furthermore, just to put a positive spin on that shit sandwich, it's the best bit of the subject. Part of the joy that I get out of the subject is the fact that we don't know certain aspects. We might be the ones to find out. That's exciting, and does, in some form or another, require speculation. You're going to speculate. Even if you're adhering to the scientific method, you've got to speculatively guess what you think causes the effect, right? And then test it to see if it is or not. Well, that type of thing, speculation, is a necessity to make discoveries. And I have to decry it, which is sad, but that's only because of the stereotype of a flat earther being dumb, and therefore you have to rise above that in every single respect, in my humble opinion.
So the last 2 days, I would say that we've been having a conversation about what is science. And a astronomer came up with, we said, what is a science to an astronomer? And he said, anything that a scientist does. So we all
Well, he would.
Yeah.
Like
He's using the magic trick. Science
Sorry?
means to
Of
prove
course.
by experiment, right? And offering proof, empirical evidence, is a very powerful tool. So, by the way of education, we all understand from 5th grade that it proves things because we're taught how the method works. We just, most of us forget, me included. But you understand.
Yeah, you test it.
Yeah, you test your hypothesis. But the point is that the outcome is empirical. So if you're a pseudoscientist, in the case of an astronomer, then you're going to turn around and say, well, science is anything I say. Because science to you means proof. Therefore, what I say is proof.
Well, it was even worse. It was, so he said, anything a scientist does. And then you go, okay, well, if it's anything a scientist does, then who names what a scientist is? And then it becomes a circular argument. Who calls each other scientists?
In reality, a scientist is somebody who can vary and manipulate a presumed cause and effect in a hypothesis to see if it actually causes something.
Experimentation.
Yeah, the guy who varies the presumed cause or formulates the hypothesis, those two people I would call scientists. The guy involved in the experiment actually being the person varying and manipulating the presumed cause, or the guy that comes up with the hypothesis. The guy that comes up with the hypothesis, strictly speaking, is the scientist, though, because that is the genius of the method. To suppose the cause and get it right upon variation and validation. That's genius.
So why can't you just say anyone who adheres to the scientific method?
Well, that's what
I'm
that
a
is.
floor layer,
Well, that is
but if
science.
I adhere to it,
that is science. That's correct. Anybody that adheres to the scientific method.
It got even worse than that. And then AI said, so you've got a scientist who's watching porn. Is he doing science?
Certainly is. Fat.
And they said, and they pretty much said yes, because there was a guy that did a experiment about sex, and that apparently became science. Yeah, this was their argument.
It's because they don't know what science is, and they've got let it go to their head that they are science.
Well,
They're not.
That came from an astro.
No need.
Sorry, Neil, what the hell?
Well, no, if an erection was the phenomena, then you would be ascertaining the variable, independent variable that caused
that's
that
biology,
phenomena.
mate.
Well, you can put anything into the method if it's a phenomena. If you want to have erections as the phenomena, you can. You can cause and affect that. You can put it through the method if you want to. That could be science, is my point.
who's going to vary and manipulate that?
Part of the problem, though, is they've confused measurement with science at the highest levels of academia.
Yeah.
That is so.
100%.
But the thing is, all of their measurements are using a flat plane. So when they appeal to the body of science, they're appealing to measurements off a flat plane.
Yeah, most of them become calculations instead of measurements.
No. I'm glad you said that. The calculations for a globe have their genesis in real-world measurements, and those real-world measurements are flat in all instances. Angles more specifically than anything else. There are others, but yeah, like as again flashing up on screen right now. You've got angle measurements with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. That's how the globe is calculated. But when Earth gets measured, like the guy in the pre-show and at the start of the live show, he's got a reference plane. What does that mean? It means you can reference it, and it's a plane. That means you're referencing a flat Earth. That's what a plane is. He needs it to be a bendy plane, or he needs the angles to be bent lines meeting straight ones. Neither are conducive with reality or geometry, so it fails immediately. What do you actually do?
Yeah.
You just measure Earth flat.
Sorry, I didn't mean interrupt, but when you said it fails immediately, that's what happened to Dogs of Gods when he came in your pre-show and he was talking about seismology. As soon as he invoked an actual physical measurement of the Earth, he was screwed. I've never seen somebody walk so hard into their own claim and smash themselves into a wall. It was brilliant. But what you just said then, yeah, you're absolutely right. He had 2 angle measurements that he required the Earth to be referenced as a horizontal plane because it is. One, the return angle between here and there, and then the bearing, the north, east, south, and west direction. That is a horizontal bearing. So, yeah, we're going to be using the Earth as flat. We're going to be measuring from a horizontal plane. Everything's going to be referenced to the Earth because we're measuring things that happen actually on the Earth. This is an Earth science. And your first measurements are going to be ding, 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 angles. What you do after that, well, that's up to you. But you're going to be measuring and utilizing a horizontal plane. That plane is the one that you're standing on.
Absolutely correct.
Good morning, guys.
No, that was brilliant. Just dogs
sounded like you, Nathan. What's up, Chocolate?
That's Jedi. You know Jedi, surely.
Yeah,
Jedi.
Yeah.
Of course I know Jedi. He's the reason I'm here. What's up, Jed?
What's up? Yeah, good to hear you, man. Good to hear you. But yeah, with Dogs of God's visits this channel. What's up, Chocolate?
Who's Jedi?
No
Aha,
idea.
the guy talking is Jedi.
I'm joking, man.
But yeah, Dogs comes in frequently, and he is a Dunning-Kruger pretender clown. He thinks he knows everything, and yeah, he walked into this, and it was beautiful. So I'm glad that you jumped in when you did, Nathan, because you took him apart superbly, mate.
I hope it wasn't tedious because we did it 15 times.
No,
And I will say,
how stupid he was.
No.
He was like a headless chicken running around with no clue where he was going, banging into walls after that point.
And sometimes
citation.
Yeah, go
I'm still
AJ.
waiting for a citation from Dogs of God from over a week ago
Oh yeah, what for?
for another baseless assertion.
Hey, wait, can we get a Elder Bear? Are you there? Or you don't want to talk to him, Nathan? Or I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, I know. Water level, this Earth's not flat because of hills and valleys. Yeah, I know, same old shit. But apparently he's got a claim. There doesn't seem to be anyone else that wants to jump in, so maybe Elder Bear can do it.
What do you mean? Nobody has proof we're living on a magical spinning water ball flying around in a vacuum. Nobody has proof of that? Darn.
No, instead we get contention from other supposed flat earthers that we have to book.
Yeah, I can't
What?
spend another day being called a liar. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, there he goes.
I did
There,
try.
you're
I
up.
did try.
Hey,
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
No,
You're
that's
up,
fair
Elder
enough.
Bear.
No, that's fair enough.
We're all.
No, I just want to
I was going to
acknowledge
say
what he
we're
said.
all
No,
going to go quiet. But yeah, okay.
I'll just acknowledge him. Yeah, that's fair enough. You talking will inevitably result in us pointing out where you've lied, made up stuff we haven't said. Yeah. So if you don't want to contend with that, best you keep your mouth shut. I would agree.
I'm sure somebody else will come along you can swear at again, like last week. You know,
Now we're
maybe
going
an hour or so.
to.
Just kick him out.
Now
If
we're
you're
going to
going
talk
to act
about.
like that, what are you even here for, Elder Bear? What are you here for if you're going to come and just make accusations?
He said he had a positive
It's
claim.
recorded.
Didn't
It's recorded. It's all out there. I shouldn't worry about making accusations. Pretty true.
Exactly.
Recorded, the whole thing.
But he's come here to attack me personally. Evidence that's presented by me is ignored entirely in favour of attacking me, the man. It's basically,
Yeah, you know, when you were swearing at people and then the libelous allegations of paedophilia against, you know, people in the community. Perhaps you could address that.
What? No, I'm not going to. My arguments is what I invite people to address.
It was your libel, though. You direct.
I take it
No, let him go.
server operators had enough of that garbage.
Elder Bear, you're not here to do that. That's not the topic of the forum. Come on, man. Grow up, eh? Stop it.
Attack the argument, not the person, Elder Bear.
I'm mad. Somebody shitting your cereal or something? What's the problem?
Well, I mean,
Seriously,
I can
what's wrong
understand.
with
And
you,
that's
man?
why I
Every
tried
time, I'm sorry, John. Every
You
time
all
this
stand
guy
around and
speaks the
support
truth-
him. You support all this language and this bad behaviour. I mean, you're all standing, all these you guys, you men, you all stand here and let it go on week after week.
Shut the freak up and go
No,
home.
using to
You're a
go on
pussy,
video.
Neil. You're a pussy, Neil. You're the big.
Can we? This doesn't have to devolve about
Did
this
you get it all
interesting
off?
every
Did
time
you
you
get it
come in.
all off your chest?
Exactly what?
I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit and try to tie my friend's back when he's being constantly barraged with nonsense and then people making stuff up about what he didn't say. I'm not going to tie his hands and say that he can't respond however he wants to. That's on him to do.
Well, John,
I'm not-
sorry, John, but Brian gave the perfect example. If somebody's going to come kicking and throwing stuff at your head and smacking you in the back of the head and egging you on, yeah, there's going to come a point where the guy's going to turn around and lash out at you. And that's exactly what they do to Nathan. Sorry.
That's all good. Politics server have got this kind of. I'm very relaxed when I'm here, actually, Neil. I was far more stressed yesterday in a different server where they seem to be sympathetic to the opponent more so than to us. That is stressful. This isn't. At the point that there's glorified personal attacks coming our way, somebody in the server just steps in and says, "That's not what we do here. Get lost."
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. I'm sorry. No matter what team you're on, it's just kind of.
No swearing. Can you get close to your mic, Sydney? You're all distorted.
Oh, sorry. I just said no matter what team you're on, it's just called proper etiquette, so fuck that. I agree.
No
Poking
swearing.
the bear, right? No.
Yeah, I think John's point is that they've got nothing to lose, so who's a bear? He doesn't care. His reputation on YouTube isn't important to him, so he can poke and poke and poke and poke until he gets a reaction, and then go, "Ha! Look, bad person." Right, great tactics.
Yeah. I mean, I know my reputation is like quite literally a retard, according to YouTube, and I'm okay with that because I stand by my shit. So whatever, I'm with you.
But we use the devil's advocate analogy, which is when Al Pacino's explaining to Keanu Reeves that if he's driving around in a flash car with a flash suit, then people see him coming a mile away. Whereas if he's riding the subway and dresses down, then he's a surprise. They're not expecting him to be what he is, good at what he knows. And you should use that to your advantage. People automatically assume that you're a numpty. They very quickly get stymied and flustered when you actually start spitting some facts at them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm just smiling ear to ear right now, so I'm with you, man.
Well, it won't be 10 hours this time. It'll only be a couple of hours this time.
Especially when they're in your face and there's no internet to turn off. That's when you get it. That's when it's the most brilliant because it's in your face.
Hey, Sydney, it sounds like you're.
If it goes bad enough, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say if it gets bad enough, somebody will put their fingers in their ears and walk away saying "la la la," I can't listen to you, because that's literally happened.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Sydney, Sydney, you sound like your mic's underwater. Can you get a little bit closer?
Yeah, I'll refresh. Be right back.
Perfect. Yeah, drop and rejoin. That's normally the answer. Yeah, we had a guy do that yesterday. So he gets to the conclusion point and he's rumpused it 5 or 6 times. And then when the mods finally get control of him and the point gets concluded, he goes on server deafen. So he doesn't have to listen.
Yeah, pretty typical. Is this any better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Are there any Globers in here at the moment? I've looked down the list. I don't think there is.
Wow, our reputation really does precede us then. I can't believe that. It hasn't taken
Anyone
long.
want to talk up? Anyone want to make a claim? Anyone want to say that Nathan's wrong about something? Just open your mic and we'll all mute up and you can have a one-on-one chat. Go ahead.
I've got an impression of Neil.
Go ahead, Roto.
That's correct.
That was perfect.
That's incorrect. I called somebody. If you would have listened yesterday, I called Jeremy exactly what he was. Go listen back.
You got to have the blinker going, though, Neil.
Yeah, the blinker going.
So we got Nihilistic Chris. Nihilistic Chris, do you want to speak up and you can, have a chat with Nathan one-on-one? Nihilistic Chris, you there? Or you just text skank?
He's just chat skanking, but I noticed Brenda's joined us. Brenda Debates is here as well.
Oh, Brenda. Oh, God.
So what's up, Brenda? Good to see you. Did you want to speak to Nathan?
Good morning.
Hello?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I have yet to hear one single shred of evidence for the flat Earth.
That's a hearing problem.
That's a metaphor. That means nobody has presented any evidence, positive evidence for the flat Earth.
That's just an incorrect statement. It's measured flat.
Go
with
ahead.
Polaris. I explained it to you yesterday.
No, go ahead. Give me the evidence then.
We measure a flat baseline for latitude. The latitude system itself is derived from measurements with respect to a horizontal plane of reference, a flat baseline. Yeah.
Go ahead. Give me the evidence.
I just did.
No, that's a claim. That's not an evidence. That's not evidence.
Can flat surfaces in reality be a good presentation for a flat surface?
So
can flat surface in reality be good presentation for flat surface?
I'm talking to Nathan. You can
No,
have
I'm
another
talking
time.
to you now. You asked it for the proof.
Yeah, you're gonna get muted. I can see that coming a mile away.
Yeah, sorry, Sasha. I do apologise, buddy, but Nathan is here and Brenda was speaking to Nathan, so let's at least let Nathan answer first, and if we need to jump in, we can. But Nathan, back to you, mate.
It's measured flat with Polaris, horizontal plane of reference. She said that's just a claim you're making. No, it's the basis of celestial navigation. That seems like Brenda's talking through me. I'll try again.
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's not a claim I'm making. Second attempt, Brenda's just going to chant through it because it's painful.
No, because
Third
you
attempt.
paused.
I haven't actually managed to go. That doesn't mean I'm inviting with a short pause you to now take the reins. You're just putting more and more distance between something I've told you yesterday that you also did this little trick, your only trick, your one-trick pony act. What, you're not hearing it, you say? Yeah, that's because you're not listening, Brenda. Yeah, what you're doing is flapping your gums when people are telling you about Earth's measured flat, like with Polaris and the flat baseline to it. I told you yesterday, but you didn't listen. You started off making a very true statement. You haven't heard any proof of flat Earth? No, I know you haven't. You've got a hearing problem. You flap your gums when you should be listening. Meanwhile, Polaris is measured with respect to a flat plane, and it develops our latitude grid on a flat plane. That's not a claim. It's a basis of navigation and mapping.
Again, all you do is make claims and claim that your claim is true. You have to give numbers. What are the numbers?
It's not a claim, Brenda.
It's literally a claim. He says it's measured flat. That's the claim.
Yeah, okay. Call it a claim if you like.
Yeah.
So is it easier?
Numbers.
Is it easier if it's not just
what
a statement
number?
of
Wait,
fact
hold on. What numbers do you even want? What number do you want? What?
Measurements of the Earth being flat.
Okay, 1 degree for every 60 nautical miles is the latitude grid system measurement. It's an angle measurement with respect to a flat Earth and the recession of the star we call Polaris towards the horizon at a rate of 1 degree as you back away 60 nautical miles.
Okay.
I haven't finished. I haven't finished. Brenda's just scared of me reiterating that which she has only one trick to overcome, which is to interrupt me. Didn't finish the statement, Brenda. Again, you said you got a hearing problem? Yeah, I know. It's not actually a hearing problem, it's a listening problem. Yeah, you flap your gums before the conclusion of the flat Earth measurement that is Polaris and how it's measured and what the measurement was. Yeah? There you go. Just detailed it to you. I've detailed it to you many times. You just can't hear it. That's your inability to hear things.
So you say it's measured on a flat baseline? Can you confirm that, please?
What I've said to you multiple times, over and over again, you're parroting back which I've said to you multiple times and you're asking me to confirm that which I've only just had an affirmation from you. You've just affirmed what I've said. Thank you for affirming that which I have said, Brenda. So you understand Earth must be flat to get this angle measurement then. Great. Welcome to Flat Earth. Thank you for affirming that which I've told you multiple times that apparently, according to now, you've never heard. Now you've heard it. Earth's measured flat.
It's measured flat by measuring a flat baseline?
Yeah,
It's begging
for an
the
angle to
question,
Polaris,
Nathan.
for latitude, yes.
You're presupposing that the baseline is flat. That's
It's an
begging the
angle
question.
measurement. It can only be flat. It's got 90 degrees to a perpendicular point at the end of it under Polaris. To have
That's not how
90 under
angles
Polaris,
work.
there's her not listening again. Hearing problem. If you do it again, I'm going to appeal to the mods to kick your dumbass out of here for not listening and having a comprehension inability. You can't listen. It's got 90 degrees at the end of the baseline, at the GP of the star. It can only be flat, or it wouldn't have 90 at the end of the line on the Earth. That's the baseline. With respect to the ground positions for the mapping system we call latitude. 90 degrees at the end of a line can only be flat.
Yeah, you're presupposing that there's a 90 degrees straight angle between the GP and the observer. That's begging the question.
No,
Do you have
it's
a
no,
Excuse me.
it's no,
Excuse me.
no. I've been accused of begging the question. No, it's celestial navigation as opposed to a claim where I beg the question. That's why we explicitly disagreed when you claimed I was making a claim, and I disagreed and said, no, it's celestial navigation. Now, what has been turned into my claim, because I foolishly conceded to get the argument moving on with the constant interruption from a fundamentalist zealot who doesn't listen.
You just did it yourself.
What? No, when she claims I've used a fallacy. No, I haven't.
No. I'm saying in terms of interrupting, you what you're accusing them is what you just did, like 10 seconds ago.
So what are we in? Earth Awakenings? Suddenly is the argument not the focus and the interruption when she's cried fallacy.
I'm just telling you. I don't want to get hung up on it. I'm just telling you, like, I'm calling you out.
That's getting hung up on it. That's precisely what we're doing. My point was this is just getting hung up on it when there's a debating point in process. The debating point is in regards to Polaris measurements of a flat Earth, and this little segue from this little white knight. What, are you a moderator? What you're doing is getting hung up on it. Something you specifically said you weren't doing.
I'm moving on.
Meanwhile, I'm arguing that Earth's measured flat with Polaris measurements and a flat baseline. It's not a fallacy to say that it's begging the question. No, it's celestial navigation. I made that explicitly clear earlier. When she says it's a fallacy because I'm begging the question, no, it's very specifically not begging the question. It's celestial navigation. I justifiably will interrupt at that point. Thank you for the overzealous moderation.
It's a fallacy because you presuppose the baseline is
I'm not
flat.
doing anything. It's navigation. I'm not doing it. It's the process of navigation. Second time she's done it. It's just being ignored.
That's still begging the question. You're
See,
still
it's just rinsing and repeating. It's just rinsing and repeating. I've overcome it. It's not my claim. It's celestial navigation. Maybe rinse and repeat it a third time. Maybe the mods will step in because she's just rinsing and repeating. I've overcome it.
But if you think the ground is curved?
Sorry, 2 seconds, Neil. 2 seconds. So moderator did jump in. No, Brendan isn't a moderator here. So I did mute him for chantering from the peanut gallery. You got two choices, Nathan. You can either continue to engage with Brenda or I can unmute Brendan and you can speak to Brendan. I'll leave that choice to you, mate, but we will keep it between you and one person.
I've already made the conclusion. It's cool. Being measured flat. There's a line that isn't begging the question. It's latitude. She's saying, well, what, when you measure latitude? No, I don't do that. I'm not measuring latitude. Latitude is what it is. It's a flat Earth baseline between you and a 90-degree position. I'm not begging the question of 90 degrees. The chat knows I'm not, as they all spam triangles. No, the right angle triangle is a prerequisite. It needs a flat Earth to be measured. It is latitude measurement with respect to a flat Earth. That's what it is. She just keeps saying, it's your claim. It's just begging the question that Earth's flat with a 90 at the end. What, for latitude measurement? No, I'm not claiming it. It's not something I'm doing or doing wrong. It is celestial navigation, not my claim.
All right, I'll unmute Brendan now. It's gone a little bit quiet. So, Brendan, if you want to bring something up, you said you wanted to move on, so you can move on to something else if you want to.
Well, if I can, right, I just want to conclude this conversation, and then I have another topic to bring up, if I may.
I just concluded.
I don't want to get hung up on that.
Sorry, let me get it straight. You just want to conclude the conversation I just had with Brenda. No, I just concluded it. Earth measured flat with 90 degree at the end of the baseline to the GP of Polaris. That's the conclusion. You want to make a different conclusion?
I can't.
If you want to make a different conclusion, I'll have the debate with you. But you're not just going to subvert my conclusion I just made by making a different one. Just let's get that clear.
Listen, Brendan, it's going to descend into chaos. We've already addressed it. It was done. We've moved on. So if you can move on to another question, all good. We're not going to go backwards from this point.
So, Brendan, did you have a new claim you wanted to make? Because I'm not going to allow you to make a new conclusion that subverts mine that I just made after winning a debate with Brenda. No, I'm not going to allow that. Did you have a claim you wanted to make? Clearly not.
No, he's muted. He just told you to go F yourself, so he's muted.
Oh, I see. So I correctly identified that he was just going to try and undermine the conclusion I just made. Yeah. I spotted it a mile away, didn't I? And when you didn't get away with it, it's F you, Nathan. Yeah. F you, Nathan. Yeah. Excellent stuff, yeah. And meanwhile, Earth must be flat to have 90 at the end of the Polaris measurement we call latitude. That's a flat baseline with 90 at the end of it. Brenda seemed to be under the impression that I'm claiming that as opposed to it being a part and parcel process called celestial navigation. I won and proved Earth was flat and measured such. That's what I did. I made the conclusion. That guy didn't manage to successfully subvert it and undermine it.
So he basically lied. He said he had a new claim, but he really didn't. He just wanted to come in and try to subvert what already happened. I got it.
Yeah, they like to undermine a winning point from a flat earther. Oh, well, I've got a new question. Yeah, Earth's measured with curved baselines. But just so I can ask a new question and put as much distance from that baseless assertion as possible. That's what would have happened.
Well, Brian would be happy because remember last week we were here, Brian was very upset that we allowed Rob Noxious to come in and subvert the whole conversation.
Fair enough. Subversion is what you've got to do. They've got to lie to Glurf. That's how Glurfs are. Undermining a point that's been won by a flat earther, par for the course. Yeah, perfectly acceptable. I can undermine his point without taking part in the debate with him.
A bleached spheroid pilot, would you like to jump into the conversation rather than just hanging in the chat and chat skanking?
If he doesn't owl round at my live stream. No, peanut gallery only. Any more for any more?
Doesn't look like it.
If not, we're going to round out this live show and move into the after show. No.
Come on, keep it Freaky Friday. Where are you?
I didn't. We've obviously got a reputation already. We've only been here about 4 or 5 times. No. Last call.
Well, a little more than 4 or 5 times because last week could count for 5 alone.
Go ahead.
So we've got
Last call for magical ball.
So we're going to Rich Evans. So we're going to unmute Rich Evans. You can speak to
Should have
him.
turned my studio lights off then.
Yeah, Rich Evans, you're up, man. Obviously not.
Have we got another silent partner? I think Nihilistic
I heard him try to speak.
What the hell? I think there's a question from the chat. Maybe I know Nihilistic does want to actually get on into the voice call, but he has asked to Nathan.
Before you ask, what I'll do is I'll round out the live show. You can ask it in the after show. So with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming streams, then stay tuned for that question. It's going to be exciting. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to today's Discord server, which is the politics server. Hopefully one of my mods will put a link so you can actually join that server. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Quick shout out to all of the people in the live stream. 3 hours from now, Bible U will be live or premiering a stream. So go over to the Bible U YouTube channel. She's in the live stream chat right now. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show.